Hey there, physics pals. Paul Lake here with another physics problem solved. I hope you're doing well. And in this problem, we're going to be doing a very simple vectors problem. This is like a beginner problem for when you're first learning how to use and manipulate vectors. We're just going to convert a position vector that's expressed in rectangular coordinates, and we're going to express it in polar coordinates. And we're going to do it two ways, though. We're going to do it graphically, and we're going to do it mathematically. So, of course, we're going to need to understand vectors and how to go back and forth between polar coordinates and rectangular coordinates. So, let's read the problem. An object has coordinates of x, y is equal to negative 3.50 meters and in the x direction and negative 2.50 meters in the y direction. We want to draw the position vector on an xy plane to scale using a ruler and a protractor. We want to use a ruler and a protractor to determine the vector in polar coordinates, r and theta. And we want to determine the polar coordinates analytically. In other words, we want to confirm our answer for part B by using mathematics in part C. Okay, so let's get started. Let's write down what's given here. So this is vector r, and the way it's written here, you can write it like this. Vector r in rectangular coordinates is negative 3.50 meters, and in the x direction, negative 2.50 meters in the y direction. Another way of writing this is saying that vector r, our position vector r, is equal to negative 3.50 meters in the x direction, which is denoted with I hat, minus 2.50 meters in the y direction. And I should have included that in my list of concepts. These are called unit vectors. And let me just define them here. If you see this little I hat, it simply means in the x direction. Okay, that's all it means. It has no units associated with it. It's dimensionless. It has a magnitude of 1 because we're multiplying it by that. But it just says, hey, we're going to go negative 3.5 meters, or actually, we're going to go 3.5 meters in the negative x direction. That's one way of reading that. And we're going to go 2.50 meters in the negative y direction, because j hat means in the y direction. Okay. So anyway, so that's what you're given, and then here's what you want to find for part A. We want to make a scale drawing, and then B, we want to use that to find R in terms of its magnitude and direction. And that's polar coordinates. So the magnitude is R, direction is theta, and we'll talk about that. And then in part C, we wanted to determine our, well, okay, I'm sorry. This we want to do graphically. We want to use this drawing to graphically solve this, and then here we want to find it mathematically. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. All right, so let's solve it. Now, one of the things I suggest you do is pause the video right now and try to solve this yourself. You will need a metric ruler, and you will need a protractor. So give it a shot, and then unpause the video, and then compare your work with mine. And that's a good way to use my videos effectively, efficiently. All right, so let's get started. All right, so I noticed that this is all in that third quadrant, right? Negative x and negative y. So what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to make 1 meter equal to 1 centimeter on my ruler. And so I'm going to draw a line like this. Maybe I'll put the origin right here. So there's the origin. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I'll put the half meter marks because I'll just make a smaller dot. And so this is -1, -2, -3, -4, and this is X in meters. Now, I'm also going to extend this, since I'm using a protractor, I'm going to extend all my lines. These are just construction lines. I'll just make them really long. And then in the Y direction, well, one of the reasons I drew that really long is I want to make sure that my y-axis is actually perpendicular, because I'm gonna be using my drawing here to make measurements, and I want it to be as accurate as possible. That looks pretty good. And so here's 90 degrees, so I'll put a little mark up here. And then when I make my y-axis, I just line up my origin in that little dot, construction dot I made. Okay, and really it's going to be down. And then let's move this here, and then we're going to say this is 1, 2, 3, and then we'll make the half meter marks. Okay, so, and this is -1, -2, -3, and this is y in meters. Okay, so 3.5, or I'm sorry, this -2.5 is my y coordinate. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to 2.5, and I'm going to make sure that this is on 90 degrees. And I'll draw this line. Okay. Boy, is that right? It doesn't look right to me. Huh. It's a sketch. There'll be a little bit of inaccuracy. And then over here, I want to go to 3.5. So there's 3.5. And then where's 90 degrees? I'll move that up there. And then I'll move this right here. And I'll draw this line right there. So there we go. That's my point in space. So let's draw our position vector in 2 dimensions. We usually call it R. I mean, you can call it anything you want, but very common to see it expressed as R. And remember, vectors have arrows on them. So this is the position on the XY plane. Okay, drawn graphically. Okay, so now I've done part A. This was all for part A. Now for part B, let's measure what R is. So R is just the length of this arrow, right? That's how far from the origin is my point in space. So let's do that. Now this is kind of awkward, isn't it? Because see the way this ruler is cut off right here. I mean, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use the 1 and just remember that I'm starting my measurement there. So I want to put that on the tip of the arrow and go over. That looks pretty good. And then I'm going to go from here. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. Let's see. I think so. 1, 2, 3. 4.1 to 4.3. About 4.3. Do you see that? Well, I'll put it right here so it's a little more obvious. That's about 4.3, I think. 4.3. Can't really get beyond that 0.3. Can't really even estimate between the millimeters here because the drawing just isn't, the thickness of the lead is just too much. But we're going to say that R has a magnitude of 4.3 meters. Okay, now we're going to use this protractor to measure this angle. So let's do that. Well, let's extend this line here so that I can use the protractor. And so we're going to put, let me make sure it's, yeah, that's good. So we put the little cross right there, and then the starts right there. That looks pretty good. And then I have to read it from here. So I go 10, 20, 30, 35. It looks like it's right on that 36. This is 30. This is 30. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then about 1 over, maybe slightly more, but that's about as close as I can get. So I'm going to say that that's 36 degrees. But remember that in polar coordinates, you don't measure from here. You measure from the positive y-axis and you go counterclockwise. So this is what I want my angle to be. So, well, from here over to here, that's 180 degrees. So I just need to add 180 degrees to 36. So let's do that. 180 plus 36. Of course, I could have done that in my head, right? 216. Duh. All right, 216 degrees. So this is what I think the answer is based on my graphical solution. Now, let's figure out what it is using math. So let's do part C over here. Well, first of all, the magnitude, we're just going to use the Pythagorean theorem, right? This is just equal to, notice this makes a right triangle, doesn't it? See, this makes here's the x component, here's the y component. We know what those components are. So R is equal to its x component squared plus its y component squared. All right, well, let's plug in our values. The x component is negative 3.50 meters. We're going to square that. Plus, and then the y value is negative 2.5 meters. Right, squared. You didn't need to put the negative in there. I just did. All right. So we can drop the negative, right, because it gets squared away. So 3.5 squared plus 2.5 squared equals 18.5. Now I need to take the square root of this. So the way I do that is I just raise it to the power of 0.5, and that saves me a couple of keystrokes on my calculator. And I get 4.30 meters. Oh, look at that. Oh, nice. All right, so my drawing agrees with my, now, by the way, I always practice these, and when I did my practice one, I got 4.4, and I was expecting to be a little bit off, but hey, you know, sometimes you're just too good, you know, you're too good for your own good. All right, so theta is equal to the inverse tangent of ry over rx. And then you have to add 180 degrees if you have a negative Rx. If your X component is negative, you have to add 180 degrees. So let's do this. This is the inverse tangent of the Y value is negative 2.50 meters. And then your X component is negative 3.50 meters. But notice here, the meters cancels out, but so does the negative. So this is like 2.5 divided by 3.5. So let's figure out what that angle is. And since the x component is negative, we're going to have to add 180 degrees to my answer. And I think you'll see why here in a second when I do this. Let's take inverse tangent. Oh, and first make sure your calculator's in degrees. Okay, and mine is. So it's 2.5 divided by 3.5, close parentheses, equals, and we get 35.5 degrees. Okay. Now, the reason we have to add 180 is that my calculator thinks that we're in this first quadrant because it's taking the ratio of x over y. It thinks they're both positive. So my calculator gave me this angle as being 35.5. And now, to get to where my actual angle is, I have to add 180. Just like I did when making it polar coordinates when I did it graphically. So this is plus 180 degrees. Now, so this is 215.5 degrees, right? Well, let's round it off to three significant figures like this, and I get the answer that I measured, 216 degrees. So I can say that my vector in polar coordinates is 4.30 meters at an angle of 216 degrees. And there's my answer done mathematically. And it totally agrees with my drawing. And that usually the drawing, you might be off. Like I said, when I first did this, is 4.4 meters, and then I did the math and I got 4.3. I promise I wasn't cheating. I really was trying to measure it accurately. I was, in fact, hoping to be a little bit off just so I can talk about how measurements have uncertainty in them. But certainly, if I got 4.4, that's pretty close to 4.3, so that's pretty good. And of course, if you use graph paper and all that, it's even easier and a little bit more accurate, but hard to get more accurate than this, at least to two significant figures, right? Or three significant figures with the angle. All right, and there we go. Another physics problem solved. Hey, if you found this useful, please like, share, and subscribe. Look in the description for links to more problems and lectures on this material. This problem that I'm recording right now is going to go into the worksheets that are there. It's a Google Doc that has all my videos and lectures just organized. It's very nice. Literally hundreds of videos like this one. Also, I'm a physics tutor. There's a link in the description that will help you, that will let you know how to get in touch with me if you might benefit from my tutoring services. I'm pretty good. I'm very friendly. And I can save you a lot of stress and a lot of time because I know how hard physics is. And finally, let me thank you for being a physics student, because this stuff ain't easy. And it can be very frustrating, very time consuming. But we need smart and hardworking people like you to learn this stuff, because all of our technology is based on our understanding of the universe, and our technologically based civilization depends on people like you. But also, physics is beautiful. This problem maybe isn't great, but physics is really an amazing thing to study. So thank you for studying it. Thank you for watching all the way to the end. And until the next video, may the net force be with you always. That is all.